welcome everybody to episode 151 of The China Show. And we have an incredibly important one for you today. I'm sure everybody knows that there's a new movie coming out called John Wick 4. You know about that?
Yeah.
Heard about it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's coming out.
I do want to say that we have some of the best framing we've ever had here.
You want to move over?
Ideal.
Want to move over?
We were rushing.
Yeah.
We're a bit Russian today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Support Ukraine.
Careful, we might invade your living space in a minute. Anyway, guys, we've got a lot to cover, so we're just going to saunter right into it in what's new, where we talk about what's new with regards to China. We got a pretty funny thing lined up for you, and we're going to give you a couple of previews of what you can expect in the show going forward.
Let me while you work this out, make sure you pause this.
Okay.
By the way, can I preface this?
Okay, go for it.
You guys always ask about how's the Belt and Road Initiative doing.
Sure.
For those of you that don't know what the Belt and Road Initiative, it's China's neo-imperialism.
Sure.
Now that sounds like some sort of weird bullshit catchphrase, but neo-imperialism is when you go and try to take over the world, but like with new ways.
Sure.
Instead of like old pith helmet, like British, we'll conquer the world.
Yeah.
Not that, right?
Sure.
We're talking about this new shit, like going and making debt trap laden economies across corrupt dictatorships, trying to build all kinds of infrastructure projects and then expecting people to pay you back over 99 years, that type of thing. And then, oh, by the way, now we're going to ask you to allow us to build a military port.
Yeah.
Things like this. Anyway, there have been a lot in Africa, and
Yes.
China's trying to take over Africa, let's be honest.
Yeah, and don't worry, we'll be getting to the John Wick stuff very soon, but we got a couple of things to get out of the way. So here we go. We'd like to show you a little news segment from China's Xinhua, which is, of course, their biggest state media over here. So let's take a look. What is this?
The capital of Namibia, a Chinese-built school has been bridging gaps.
Okay, so we want you to guess the name of the Chinese school that's bridging gaps in Namibia. By the way, Namibia it used to be called Southwest Africa. I've actually been there.
Yeah.
My godfather lives in Namibia.
It's very close to South Africa.
Yeah, kind of used to be a part of South Africa at some point, long time ago.
I'm making a poll right now while you...
Yeah, in the live chat, we're going to give you a couple of options, like a, what would you call that, a multiple choice question.
Yeah, because this is a Belt and Road Initiative thing. So you guys got to remember, this is China trying to weasel its way into African countries, right?
Okay, yeah.
And I want to...
what do we got?
I'm sorry,
Yeah, we want you to guess the name of the school. We're going to put as many in the poll as we can.
Yes.
Okay, are you ready?
Almost.
Okay.
Okay, there's going to be 4 choices.
Four choices. Can you go for it and then read out the choices?
Okay.
All right.
The poll is now up. Is it called Belt and Road Memorial?
Mm-hmm.
Well, which would be a massive slap in the face, wouldn't it? I'm just thinking about this, like naming a school after your own program.
Sure.
Belt and Road Memorial, China Bridge Primary, Chairman Mao Zedong Secondary, or Eastern Sun Everbright.
Yeah.
What do you think the name of this school is? By the way, Namibia is a free, flourishing democracy.
Yes.
This is not some like bullshit Cambodia situation where it's been taken over by China already.
Sure.
So just want you guys to know.
By the way, best lager in the world, Windhoek Lager. You got to have it. It's great.
Oh, yeah?
If you're a beer person,
Yeah, that's cool.
It's my favorite.
Nice.
At least it used to be. Who knows?
I just put up the poll here. I'm gonna wait till it gets to 1,000 votes. At least half the audience.
Well,
I mean, this is key.
Okay. Well,
Just round it out. Round it out.
Okay, we better do something else in the meantime. We can't just sit here waiting, doing nothing,
I
right?
put a clip of John Wick 4 in there in the beginning. I don't know if you saw that.
Really?
Yeah.
Let me take a look, because I think you just played out this segment.
Oh, weird. I made a teaser for it.
Yeah, I was wondering where the teaser stuff was.
Oh, it's there. It's there.
Okay, so it's later.
Sorry, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, that should have been.
We're a
that
bit
should have
Russian.
been first.
We're Muscovites right now.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, let's get on to, while we wait for you guys to vote, let's get on to the actual John Wick 4, what we're going to be talking about later. But as we all know, John Wick 4 is coming out, and it's very highly anticipated. One of the most popular franchises in the world, I could say. I know you're not much into that stuff, but
I don't want to insert my opinion because I've never seen them. I don't watch. I'm like, I don't know how to explain. I'm more into
like Korean dramas. That's what you watch. Yeah.
Why didn't you let me come up with my own soft way to say that?
It's just what you do. Anyways,
I watch Korean dramas.
Yeah.
I'm currently watching Ted Lasso, which is very good.
Oh, it is? Okay, good. So anyway.
We have Donnie Yen.
Donnie Yen is one of the big actors in John Wick 4, and, well, there's a huge petition that's currently got 100,000 signatures trying to get him cancelled as a presenter for the Oscars. And it goes very deep. We've got a very big piece on this coming up later in the show.
Yeah.
So you guys can really figure out what's going on with this. Why is it that people don't want him? Why is it so important? And more importantly, why is he in a big movie like John Wick 4?
Yeah.
Anyway. So
we well over 1,000 votes now.
Okay, good.
And the clear winner was number 3 with Chairman Mao Zedong secondary.
Well, you know what? You guys are right. You know why? Because they saw it.
There was a frame, wasn't there?
There was a frame. People saw it. Okay, anyway, let's go through this. This is absurd.
Windhoek, the capital of Namibia, a Chinese-built school has been bridging gaps.
Yeah, so we said guess the name. You did guess the name, right? But it's probably because you saw it, right?
This blew our minds.
In education access for local children. The acting principal of Chairman Mao Zedong Secondary School said the school helps the Namibian government tackle classroom shortfalls and accords underprivileged children access to quality education.
So, I mean...
Hold on, no.
What, you want to get
Just
to...
1 second.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Why would it be so weird to call it not just Mao Zedong Secondary School, but Chairman Mao Zedong Secondary School?
Chairman Mao Zedong Secondary School.
It's like great leader Joseph Stalin High.
Bro, you know what I heard?
What?
I asked this handsome boy out to the prom. He's from Hitler High. Hitler High boys are
no,
so hot.
it would be like Supreme Chancellor Adolf Hitler High.
Yeah, sorry, you gotta throw the title.
Yeah,
honorary title.
Yeah. Why the heck is it Chairman Mao Zedong?
What the frick, dude?
Yeah.
So I mean, here's the deal: Namibia has no ties to Chairman Mao, right? Number 2, Chairman Mao is seen as this isn't a contested thing. I don't think you walk around and people say, man, you know who was awesome was Chairman Mao.
Sure.
Unless you're in China, right?
Yeah,
you're part of the whole brainwashing education system. It's not a normal thing to celebrate. And you're naming a primary school, an elementary school after one of the worst mass murders in history. Just in case you guys didn't know, Chairman Mao killed tens of millions of people.
Yeah.
One of the the worst mass murder in history.
He's also responsible for China basically going down the toilet, losing all of its history and culture and religion and everything, because he put these campaigns out there, the Great Leap Forward and the Cultural Revolution, which actually destroyed China's culture. He said get rid of the 4 olds, which included, traditions. He wanted to get rid of Chinese writing.
He tried to get rid of Chinese characters. He said they were bougie and complicated.
Yeah, he actually destroyed China's culture and history. He's not a good
excellent
guy.
Culture?
Yeah.
By the way, just had some really good ideas floating around in chat. Just want to throw this out. Ingrid Alexander said Pol Pot Primary School.
Yeah, Pol Pot Primary. It's the same thing.
PPP,
Yeah.
P cubed.
And, Mao Zedong is 100%, responsible for tens of millions of deaths because it's his policies that led to this widespread starvation and absolute famine and disgusting, kill all the sparrows and all that shit that he did. It really destroyed China and led to all these deaths. So why is he being celebrated?
There was other policies that just led to absolute famine. Like there were people eating each other's babies.
Yeah, it was an awful time.
This is recent history. This isn't like 200 years ago.
This was happening when America was landing a man on the moon.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Yeah.
All right, anyway.
Anyway, there was, other stuff where people were just blatantly murdered, as my favorite picture of Mao.
Yeah.
I always pass this one around.
Anyway, it's just kind of interesting to see they've also got a Chairman Mao Zedong High School.
Yeah, I found this on Facebook. This is Chairman Mao Zedong High School. It makes it more absurd when you look at the actual materials of it.
Sure.
Instead of Chinese propaganda. That's the thing on the right is their patch.
Yeah.
That was their Facebook avatar. So I just wanted to blow that up and look at that.
Striving for excellence, Chairman Mao Zedong High School.
I mean, it's so weird. Do you want to sign your kids up for grade 8 2022 admission? Enroll now.
I know, isn't it crazy?
Mao Zedong.
It's pretty bizarre.
This is the way I see it. It's like you have China trying to take over the world. Let's be totally honest, right?
Sure.
Neo-imperialism shit. I mean, the Chairman Mao Zedong High School's first ever netball team. Props to these ladies. They look like they are ready to start a new netball team. They're going to have a great season this year. Why do they got to be named after the worst mass murder in history?
I know, it's terrible.
So Things like that really freak me out.
Yeah.
Like when you see it just like verbatim, not as a joke.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway,
Yeah.
I just wanted to put out there this whole, like, we can be honest about China's ambitions globally.
Of course.
We figured this out now. We used to even kind of like poo-poo it a little bit. It's pretty clear what China's trying to do, especially
Yeah.
with resources and
Oh,
stuff.
it's terrible.
But I feel like this was a situation where they're like going around the world. They're like, hey, let's try Li Keqiang's, I don't know, food bank, like
Sure.
a little thing here
Yeah,
and
yeah,
there,
yeah.
like a little thing. Maybe like maybe a Deng Xiaoping's, like just a little thing, like
Sure.
a Deng Xiaoping study center. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Then they're like, how can we just push someone
Confucius
to the absolute,
Institute.
Yeah, Confucius Institute.
Yeah.
Like, how can we push someone to the absolute limit? Mao Zedong Secondary
No,
School.
Chairman
Mao
Mao.
Zedong's.
It literally says there, this is Elizabeth Bam.
Bam!
Acting principal, Chairman Mao Zedong Secondary School.
I mean, it's not a parody.
No.
This is not April 1st yet, guys.
Yeah.
We should have saved it for April 1st.
We should have. Anyway, you get the deal. It's just a little
Play
piece.
a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. It goes on about like, oh, it's so great that they've made these,
School
facilities for
has
us,
turned into a
etc.
place for learners to realize their dreams of diversifying their skills and cultural exchanges. Many students are also drawn to the school to learn the Chinese language and realize their dreams of international exposure.
Yeah, it sounds all very nice and everything. It's a pity it's named after a disgusting mass murderer. Literally, there it is, Chairman Mao Zedong.
You know what my worst part about this is?
中学.
Is that this, you guarantee
Yeah.
these kids in this school
Yeah.
are learning Chinese propaganda and
course.
whitewashed version of history. They're not learning about what Mao did. I promise you, if
Of
you go
course
through
not.
this curriculum, why would they do it? They'd be like, they would read through this and be like, so people were eating their babies. Mao inspired the children, forced children to kill their teachers and
Yeah,
landlords
like
and
rat out their
grandparents.
parents and stuff, yeah.
80 million, up to 80 million people died in the worst famine in modern history. Why is our school named after this?
Yeah, of course, of course.
It's really messed up.
It's mind-boggling and
Yeah.
it's stupid. It's like if a villain gets to rewrite history in his own like mind, like what he thinks it should be.
Yeah.
This is what you're seeing in
Yeah.
real time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Milestone in the future and being able as businesswoman with the Chinese people.
I mean, these poor kids have no idea what they're getting into.
No. Anyway, that aside, all right. Yeah, we just showed you this little John Wick thing. We're going to get into the John Wick thing in a minute, but
Speaking of John,
yeah, we got John T. We've been promising this for a while. So for those of you who don't know who John T is, it's this character behind us. He was a correspondent or a reporter for Xinhua News. He's kind of dropped off the radar. I guess he's not working there anymore.
Probably not.
But he's become part of the show. You've
Yeah.
seen the sound bites.
Great.
And you've seen...
Nice.
We love John T.
Yeah, we think he's fantastic. He's
He's
a great
shown
guy.
he's shown no instances of like sucking up to the CCP or anything like
Yeah.
this. He's just been in some state stuff about the Beijing Olympics.
He was mainly... a big focus of his work was to bring the Beijing Winter Olympics to the world
which is whatever.
through things like this wonderful song.
Great.
Welcome to Beijing. We're about to give it a go. Share your smiles in the winter.
Anyway, so this is kind of an unreleased or never before seen... What?
Just say that again. It's unreleased,
Yeah.
and then read the title.
A Morning's Pleasure.
And it's an unreleased video from John T.
John T, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, unreleased. Yeah, okay,
Well,
I
I
get
mean,
it.
just like
Yeah.
what do you think people are gonna think this is?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I got to give context to this, right? Because building up to the Beijing Olympics, of course, everyone was skeptical because it was COVID time, and China had. I mean, let's be honest. China was very hypocritical about this. They were very vocal against Japan holding the 2020 Olympics, and they were completely against it because of COVID. And Japan actually relented to the world and actually shut down
They're
and
like,
didn't
"All
do
right,
it. They were like, yeah, we agree. But then when it came to China having their Winter Olympics, in the height of like the COVID lockdowns and everything, they're like, no, we're doing it. And everyone has to accept it. By the way, foreigners aren't allowed to come here. You know, foreign journalists, so foreigners in China aren't allowed to go there.
When you explain it like that, it makes me furious.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's
Like,
like
they got a whole country to throw billions of dollars down the toilet. Okay, we won't do it. And then they're
Yeah.
like, okay, by the way, we're going to
yeah,
do
we're
it.
going to do it. Yeah. So they were trying to make it seem like it's this great thing. And they were putting out all this material. And of course, John T was a big part of that. So in this particular thing you're about to see, John T is going to go look at the athletes' village.
How'd
and
you get your hands on this?
oh, I mean, it's out there.
Oh, it's out there.
It's out there,
Okay,
yeah.
but it's just not released in the main channels.
It's very difficult to find and navigate all this junk because they pump out so much propaganda that
that's
it
true.
falls between the cracks. Anyway, let's
Love
take it.
John T.
Let's take a look. This is their edit.
Great.
Except for the great.
No, I put that in.
Good audio.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
We're here in the Olympic Village where we're going to spend the night. In 2 months' time, athletes from all over the world are going to call this their home. We have the autonomous bellboy that will deliver the athletes' equipment to their buildings.
I love this. What is it? A fire hydrant?
运动员的随身行李，给运动员节省一下他们的时间，可以实现无接触配送。
Wait, hold on. The door of where he was going was like 10 meters
Yeah,
away.
I mean it's very typical of this propaganda. They're like, we have technology, we have an autonomous bellboy, but what it looks like is
that is autonomous.
Yeah, yeah. You know when you go into a building and there's like a fire station where you
Yes.
like open it up to
Yes.
get the fire extinguisher or the
hose.
hose or whatever. It's literally that with some wheels on it, and he puts his bag in.
You know what's cool about that is actually that's AI 5G.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And it drives like maybe 3 meters or let's say like 50 meters down there. And then he can take his bag out of it, which, by the way, let's be honest, wasn't very heavy and he didn't need to put in there.
It was literally like 10 meters away.
Yeah. Complete nonsense.
进行运动员的随身行李，
Oh,
给
let's
运动员
go.
节省一下他们的时间，可以实现无接触配送。
Yep. Okay, so now he's going to go to the plaza. All right. See what he finds inside the plaza. This is set up for the athletes, of course. All right. Scan your QR code.
Phone.
You can get your morning coffee. 你好，一杯拿铁。谢谢。
You did not edit.
No, I didn't edit that. That's
This is
typical.
cringe CCP
Yeah,
edit.
CCP edits. Yeah. Now the dining. By the way,
What is this brown?
we got to look at this. Remember, this was put out as an advert
Yes.
for the Olympics village.
Right.
This is supposed to be for the athletes.
Yes.
So you're an athlete. I don't know about you, but in my mind, athletes care about what they eat a lot.
Like to a T.
They like every
methodical.
calorie, every
Yeah.
bit of energy. And this is what you're showing. At least have it full. Okay, this is Chinese state media. So they're like, look at this. I mean,
I love the bins of the apples.
What?
You can't have a basket.
no, and also, why is it so sparse? And look, that apple over there looks terrible. It's all
Oh,
bruised.
these
and
like horrific.
it's like dregs of apples.
Tofu dregs.
Yeah, it's tofu
bro.
dreg apples. They just threw them in there.
Yeah.
And this is
Get
for...
ready. You want to, if you would like had a meter about sea milk triggered moment, one of my triggered moments coming up here. This is like what gets me all riled up.
Okay, what
在
happens?
这个餐厅里头呢，一共布置了12个餐台，我们
This.
Okay.
有西餐、中
Oh, Shiitsan, right? Explain Shiitsan to everyone.
This is going to be a cultural moment for you guys to understand. This is why you come to us, because we lived in China over a decade and we speak
Yep.
Chinese, right?
Yep.
So there is something that bothers me so much to no end, and it's one of those things that shouldn't bother me, but I feel like it's something that other people would get into a hissy fit about,
Yeah,
right? If
yeah.
it was the tables were turned, right?
Yeah.
So it's called Chinese food, right? Zhongcan, right?
Yeah.
And then a lot of Chinese people in China, especially in mainland China, people will say Shican, which is Shican means Western food, right?
Sure.
That means anything.
Anything that's not Chinese.
You know what I love to do is I go to Brazil just for the spaghetti and meatballs.
Yeah,
and I
exactly.
never forget. I never forget when I'm in Argentina. I always get some reindeer sausage.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Anything Western is all encompassing. But if you talk about Chinese food, oftentimes a lot of people would say, well, but there's so many different kinds of Chinese food, which I agree with,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
There's
of
all
course.
kinds. Dongbei food, there's Guangdong Cai, there's Yue Cai, right?
Yep.
There's Hunan Cai, Sichuan Cai, Xinjiang
Yeah, all the
Cai.
different types, yeah.
There's bazillions of different kinds, and I make those distinctions.
Yeah.
But Shitan is quite literally anything that's not Chinese
Yeah.
or Japanese, by the
Yeah.
way, or Korean. Those are Asian foods, right?
Well, I mean, if you look at the
Shiitsan.
subtitles, what he says, it's quite simple. He just says over there, we have Western food, Chinese food, Asian food, halal food, and so on. So those are basically those are all the categories of food.
Yes.
That's it.
By the way, Western food, oftentimes, I was telling my wife about this yesterday, we were just cracking up with some memories of what Shizan meant.
Yeah.
We were actually talking about Shizan yesterday. It's just such a ridiculous concept,
Yeah.
Shizan.
Yeah, it
Western food. She was talking about how like salad, she always thought salad was like a Western thing. Chinese people don't eat raw vegetables usually, right?
Yeah.
And so we were talking about this, and the salad that a lot of Chinese people think is a Western salad or Italian or American or whatever is pieces of fruit, some lettuce, cherry tomatoes, and then a sweet sauce.
Yeah. I've only ever had that in China. Yeah.
Horrific.
Anyway,
Nightmare fuel.
Let's carry on with Jonty's little adventure.
餐、亚洲餐、清真餐等等，这样呢兼顾到这个各个世界。
Look, you can get a spoonful of cherry tomatoes with your rice.
I
or
like the
whatever.
heating tray full of apples.
Yeah, I know. It's like...
各国的口味。
Bro's got literally 2 mounds of rice and cherry tomatoes.
I know, it's crazy. Anyway, Jonty's got something to say here.
Favorite pizza, and it changes every single day, so something for everyone.
By the way,
Oh, pizza crimes.
Corn.
Pizza crimes. Whoop, 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 whoop. I wish we had like an alarm.
yeah, corn on pizza.
Do we have a sound effect that's like kind of an
No.
alarm? No.
No, we don't.
It's
Unfortunately.
probably a sad trombone.
Yeah. Oh, you won't hear that. I have to bring that up. Let's see. About now, let's try it again.
Definitely needs that's a sad trombone moment. Because corn on pizza is an absolute hideous crime.
Oh, it is.
And it's all over China. I shouldn't say all over China. 99% of China doesn't have pizza. But if you do get it, it's going to have corn on it.
Yeah.
Sometimes mayonnaise.
Correct. Yeah, it's not very good. Anyway, let's continue. We should probably do that little pizza clip again. Sorry. Let's go back
that's a great one.
because we we interrupted.
I love this guy's. If they got a guy in a wheelchair to show that handicapped people are accommodated in China. There's no handicap accommodation in China.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a
I
look.
even got my favorite pizza, and it changes every single day, so something for everyone.
Nice.
So now he's going to check out the apartment.
Love this part.
I've got to say, that is the weakest bed. Look how thin the mattress is. It's like this. If you're an athlete, is that appealing to you? Do we have athletes in our audience? If you're an athlete and you're going to travel across the world to Beijing.
To the Olympics.
Yeah, to the Olympics. Is this the standard that you are expecting?
And by the way, for China, this is great. But
You might say it's
Great.
Yes. But that bed would barely hold me.
that's like a camping cot. Like if you go to like summer camp or something,
Yeah.
and
You think that's going to hold a jaunty? A full jaunty?
we'll see.
Yeah.
But the fact is that mattress looks sad. And that it just
You know what that looks like?
What?
Looks like cold cherry tomatoes next to 2 mounds of rice.
It's true. Anyway, let's continue on. We got to see what Jonty has to say about the beds.
Jaunty's bed review.
The bed can be adjusted to meet the needs of each individual athlete.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I like it. You didn't remove the music.
No.
They just cut the music.
Yeah. I may have extended that a little bit.
You obviously gave him a rise and fall, but
Yeah.
even without the addition of the rise and fall, that's outlandish.
Yeah, it was just like a.
It cut like dun dun dun, and then it goes.
Yeah, the beds can be adjusted for. It's very awkward.
Oh man.
Anyway.
So I've got to say, I'm pretty impressed with the bed. I'm 2 meters tall, so
Massive.
and last night this bed fitted me perfectly. It's very rare that happens, so I can stretch all the way out without my feet hanging over.
Yeah, but that's not true because they showed his feet hanging out.
Yeah, they quite literally gave photographic evidence.
Yeah, of his feet hanging out at the end. Yeah.
Had a great night last night. Just gonna tuck into some baozi for breakfast. Catch you all again soon.
Remember.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry. Just thought we'd throw in an extra bonus Jonty clip here.
Sure.
because you know this particular soundbite.
Great.
Where he goes on like a virtual studio. We did a whole thing on this, but he goes to see this was on preparation for Tokyo 2020 before they canceled it, right?
Yeah.
So he goes on preparation to meet with some Chinese athletes, but
Which
it's
is
virtual.
just the most awkward, amazing clips ever.
It's pretty legendary.
It's
Anyway.
where we harvested those old bad boys from.
So anyway, he goes to one of the Chinese athletes like, "Oh, you must miss your mom. Let's call your mom on a video call." It's really kind of awkward.
So out of the blue. Did you put that part in?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
But
He
anyway,
literally goes, "Let's call your mom."
yeah, it's like you must miss your mom, and then like let's call your mom. Anyway, so this is how he ended the clip, which was actually really cool. So we thought we'd show you.
This is a good cook. Your mum is a good cook. You must miss her a lot. Do you want to do a heart-shaped pose with me? 中国加油!
Yeah.
I love his like sarcasm there. It's almost like he's like taking the piss. That's why I love John T.S. You can tell he doesn't want to do this shit.
No, he's just having fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, so that's the mysterious John T clip that we haven't shown you that we've been promising for a while. And before we continue, because we've got a jam-packed show as usual, not jelly-packed, but jam-packed, you know.
Let's not get into this again.
Yeah, exactly, because we all know where that ends up. Anyway, let's first have a word from our sponsor. So, C-Milk, what do we got to say about this fantastic company that we work for? I'll just put this lovely field in the background here for us.
Well,
What do
you
we
probably
gotta say?
shouldn't cover up the athleticgreens.com/ADV, who is today's sponsor, of course, is Athletic Greens. Why don't you tell people that you have been using Athletic Greens actually for a while now?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just pause this and bring us back in here because, I'd like to address you, the audience. But, to get a sponsor for our channel is always a challenge, especially with the fact that we talk about China a lot and not many people want to associate themselves with us. But Athletic Greens has been fantastic. And I have been using it and I have found it to be very beneficial. And how I found it to be beneficial is it's really helped me with brain fog. And this is something that happened when I decided to take a diet. I've been on a bit of a strict diet recently. It's not really helping, I'm sure you've noticed, but, I decided I'd do it anyway.
That aside.
I'd do it anyway. But when I went on this diet, it actually hit me really hard, and I was finding it very difficult to concentrate, and I started to take the AG1, and it gives you all those vitamins and minerals, and there's all those things that you would normally have to chug down lots of pills for.
Which you absolutely never do.
No, I don't touch this stuff. So
I try to force vitamins on you, and you're like, gosh.
Yeah, I don't like that. But to be able to like mix a little smoothie that tastes nice and you can drink it in the morning or whatever really helps.
Yeah,
helps a lot.
It's awesome.
So it's helped me. I can recommend it from that point of view.
For sure. If you're looking for an easier way to take supplements, Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Why don't you show them the title here?
'Cause I want to see people to see you reading it because it just proves that it's difficult to memorize.
Okay, can you show them now?
Sure,
So they can have a place to go.
Yeah, there we go.
So if you go to athleticgreens.com/ADV, it's awesome. You're going to help the channel. You're going to help us.
Yeah.
You're going to help your own body because it's probably one of the best, most amazing ways you can take care of yourself.
Yeah.
You're gonna get AG1. You're gonna take 1 scoop of powder. You're gonna mix it with some water. Tastes totally tropical and delicious. And then after that, what you're going to do is if you're moving around, you're going and traveling around, you got your travel packs that it comes free with because you went to our link.
Yes.
Not because you went to the website by itself. It's because you went to our link.
Yes,
you
go
went
to
to
our link.
athleticgreens.com/ADV and you only went to that one.
Yeah.
Even the other podcasts that you watch that might have the same sponsor, you went to ours.
Yeah,
because
go to
you
our
support
one.
us.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Don't forget, you're going to get that 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs if you go to athleticgreens.com/ADV. Please check it out.
Yeah, seriously, check it out. We can recommend it. Stand behind it 100%.
Yeah.
Now back to the show.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll let this lovely flower field and...
You know where sunflowers grow?
Where?
Ukraine.
Oh, that's true. They do. Yeah.
Props.
Yeah.
I
certainly
love
do.
that you let this flower field play out.
Well, I mean, you got it, right?
Do you, though?
No, not really.
No.
It's a nice scene, though. Yeah.
athleticgreens.com/ADV.
Yeah, let's run through the flower fields in time lapse.
Dun, 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 dun. Is that Chariots of Fire?
Chariots of Fire. All right, quickly, this in from Beijing. By the way, big news out of Beijing. Very big news. Nobody saw it coming. Okay.
I got the results.
You got the results, okay? But yeah, there's been a vote.
Yes.
And you're going to see the results. But of course, heightened security. One of our subscribers sent me these pictures. He took, actually, I think he took them this morning, but very recently, either this morning or yesterday. But
Boots on the ground.
Yeah, he took these pictures and he actually got detained for taking them. So,
just for the show.
Yeah.
We got someone detained by accident.
Yeah,
Sorry
well, I mean,
about that.
no, he just, we didn't tell him to go.
No,
take
I
these.
know. I'm saying
What you can see here, though, is you can see
sacrifice.
security forces kind of walking around near Tiananmen Square, and he tried to get close to get some photos, and they detained him, and they had to see his passport and all that nonsense, and radio it in and all that stuff. And he got detained 4 times trying to take photos.
Whoa, bro!
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Apparently, the security guards were walking around, and if people were sitting on benches and stuff near the square, they told them to move on and stuff like that. Typical. We got to clear
So
the
it wasn't
area.
hip to be square.
Wasn't hip to be near the square.
Yeah.
And of course, the reason for this is there was this very important part of the sort of 2 sessions. We talked about 2 sessions last time.
I wonder how the CCP delegates felt about all these the China show tentacles wrapping around near
not
their
very nice.
building there. Eh?
Yeah. Anyway, there's a vote to see if Xi Jinping would get his 3rd term, this unprecedented, never before.
Yeah.
3rd term, which he, by the way, changed the law so that he could get a 3rd term.
Yes. So
'Cause-
he manipulated the law. You're not allowed to have a 3rd term in
Yeah.
China.
Yeah.
He changed that to get it, but they still had a ceremonial vote.
Yeah, they had a vote.
Yeah.
So they had to make sure it was like the security was high because there's this very important vote coming on. So let's see what the results of the votes are. How many people said yes to Xi Jinping's 3rd term?
That was 2,952. By the way, this is not people in the country. These
No.
are CCP members.
It's just the CCP members. Okay. How many people said no?
Let's see. The Fundway was 0.
And how many people abstained?
That was 0.
So
They didn't even make up a couple token votes.
no.
I mean, what you saw before in the previous stuff
Mm-hmm.
is you would have the odd, there's 10 disagreed, or
Yeah.
there was like 6 abstained, right? You gotta have a couple.
You got to
in
have at
there.
least a little bit of believability in there, right?
He can't take any criticism to the point where he can't even have one. There
No.
can't even be one in there.
No. It can't even be one bloody vote that abstains even.
I mean, this is the problem, is that there's
yeah.
this bullshit going around about China has a whole process democracy,
Yeah.
which is insane.
Yeah.
It is literally only, not even the CCP. You could even say, okay, it's not a democracy, but at least the 90 million members of the CCP vote. No, nope.
Yeah.
Only the very core center of the CCP can vote.
Yes.
Can vote,
Sure.
right? They couldn't even get one person in the core center of that vote to promote their whole process democracy.
Yeah.
Now you see where they get the 9 out of 100 for the Freedom House.
I mean, tell me you're a dictatorship without telling me you're a
Yes,
dictatorship.
you show
Here it
them
is. Yeah.
enjoy that.
Yeah, there it is. So 0 votes
0.
against. And they know that if they vote against him, that they're done.
Yeah.
So, there are plenty of people who don't like him within the party, but they could never voice that opinion.
Oh,
They'd be
yeah.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
They
anyway,
couldn't even get one. I was hoping there'd be a couple.
they're by the way, the, oh yeah, you put in this clip.
It's just reminded me of this.
All right.
at which he won 14 gold medals.
There's some
Yeah.
rare footage of Xi Jinping.
Now, people are saying there's a mandate of heaven going on because right now, today in Beijing, the weather is so bad and polluted. The day that he got voted in.
More like mandate of hell.
Yeah,
Keep
mandate
in
of
mind, this
hell.
is the country that can control the weather.
Sure.
Like, they actually clear the skies in Beijing.
They force factories to shut down. They seed the clouds. They do everything they can when there's an important event going on.
Yeah.
But this is what's happening right now in Beijing. These are from multiple different sources, not just one. Okay. Yeah. It's currently AQI 500. It actually has a little skull next to it, which you kind of half cut off there, but there's a skull next to it to show you that it's really, really, really
We had
bad.
someone in Shaoyang district in Beijing. We're like, can you show the weather?
Yeah.
And they're like, sure. 500 is maxed out.
Yeah, so it doesn't go beyond that. It says 500, but...
It actually goes up to 999 on real AQI charts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which are still, by the way, manipulated by the state.
of course.
Now, I did a little look-see doodle.
So this is up to date. We took the screenshot probably an hour before the show.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what the weather, the air quality in China is right now in and around that area of Beijing, etc.
I mean, that's a wide
Tianjin,
swath.
Beijing,
Yeah,
yeah.
a wide swath area.
Yeah.
That's Qingdao in the east.
Yeah.
But anyway, if you look at that, I mean, this is apocalyptic.
Look at all the
levels of pollution.
99999 stuff over just above where I'm pointing there. Like that whole area is basically all 9999.
That's maxed out, so it's probably more.
It is more
Well,
than
it is
that.
more, yeah.
You just can't go any more than that, you know?
I mean, they don't even make a scale high enough to show the true air quality.
Yeah.
It's that bad. It's like you're freaking walking around breathing wet concrete.
Yeah.
It's like the air is like
it's really
is
terrible.
only particulate.
Yeah.
It's actually solid.
Remember, China's leading the world in green energy and
Guys.
green. Come on, guys, don't buy that shit. Read the real stats.
What is this? The International Monetary Fund was like going on about how China is like ape shit good at like green technology and shit.
It's like
What are you talking about? Look at it.
It's still so terrible. So here's the whole area, and we wanted to point something out to you. This could be like a weather report type thing. See, like, okay, the very bad bits up there is where you got Tianjin and Beijing and all that. And look how the pollution and South Korea hates this, but it flies from China over into South Korea.
Look at poor Korea just getting massacred.
North Korea doesn't even have any sensors in it, so you can't tell, but it's the same. Korea gets hammered, and then it goes, you can see how the weather basically takes it from China through Korea over to Japan.
Korea's kind of like the buffer. They soak it
because
up.
look, the parts of Japan that are close, kind of here, these parts that are close to China, also the pollution's very questionable. But as you get further away from China, it gets green.
Yep.
It's
you can
it's
see
bad.
that with Taiwan as well. Look at the east coast of Taiwan's green. It gets buffeted.
Yeah, because there's mountains that stop it. But dude, like again, when people try to pull this whole China's green technology and they're so good at this renewable energy and stuff, just look at it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's literally like somebody giving a food review of a restaurant and saying, this is the most amazing, delicious food I've ever had, but it's actually just ash. You know what I mean?
You're going to say McDonald's or
No,
something.
just ash. And it's a restaurant where people go and they eat ash and they're like choking on ash. Okay, but they've got food reviewers all over the world. They're like, it's so amazing, you know. That's it.
You know what the top review is? It's like the most upvoted because they get those bot farms upvote. It says 5 out of 5, definitely not ash.
Yes, exactly. So stop believing this crap about renewable energy and China leading the world in green technology. What China is leading the world in is pollution. Okay?
I will literally harp on about this until we have no audience left.
Sure.
Like for years, because apparently leadership around the world doesn't understand that China sucks at this stuff.
Yeah.
It is the reason the world is polluted.
Yeah.
It's China doing this.
Yeah.
It's not just to make the world's goods either. It's also for the domestic economy.
Sure.
They don't clean any of their energy sources when they make shit.
And they made more and more coal-burning power plants and just
6 times. 6 times the rest of the world, and I hate to harp on about this, the rest of the world is reducing carbon output and reducing coal usage, and China just opened up 6 times coal capacity.
Yeah, they just keep building more and more. It's kind of insane. It's insane. So where's the Greta Thunbergs of the world when it comes to China?
Please speak out.
They're
I know
always
she did once, but like, bring it back.
Come on, like she's always like hanging out and protesting some cow farm or something. How about
she's always laying in the hands of authorities, smiling.
Yeah, exactly.
You notice that
Whatever.
shit? Like they always have the cops holding. She's always like, "Go to China, please, please. Take a flight to Beijing.
Yeah.
Enjoy the air."
Anyway, just wanted to point that out because it's relevant. It's happening right now. That's actually from like an hour ago. This got sent to me also about 3 hours ago or something. This is what Beijing looks like right now. It's apocalyptic. And I've been there when it's like that, by the way.
Yeah.
I've experienced this, and it's horrendous.
I used to live in literally a steel plant in Baotou, so I'm aware.
By the way, World Health Organization, we love that organization so much since they...
WHO, yeah.
Anyway, according to their studies and estimates, around about 2 million people in China die every year from air pollution-related illnesses.
2 million per year.
So, hey, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but China has been throwing out this 1.1 million people in America died of COVID thing for the longest time. And they've been like really obnoxious about it. Have you noticed? Yeah. They've been incredibly obnoxious about this, using this as a bragging right.
Yeah.
Look how our zero COVID is so great. But look, America, 1.1 million people died. Well, you don't have 2 million people dying of air pollution every year. It's if you want to like compare apples and apples, that's
one might say 2 million Chinese people die.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Yeah, every year.
Yeah, every year.
Seriously,
it's insane. Yeah. Anyway, just wanted to bring that up because it's kind of related. Yeah, what's going on with this Hanyang thing?
Oh, this is also related to our favorite 2 sessions.
Okay.
This was Han Yang. He used to work, I believe, for... Let me just pull it up real quick. I want his credentials because it's important. What is his at? Political...
Yeah, polyjunkie _AUS.
So I get Australia. This right. Okay, so Han Yang is a Tsinghua alumni, and he was formerly in China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Just like Hua Chunying and all those guys, yeah.
So let's see what he has to say. He's, by the way, is a massive critic of the CCP.
Yeah, he is a huge critic of the CCP.
He says, Zhao Xiaoping, controversial wolf warrior author, sponsored a resolution, at the CPPCC.
I got to make a soundbite out of that, actually.
What's coming, right?
Yeah, we got some more of that, yeah.
By the way, the CPPCC is the democratic, non-CCP aligned body that gets to tell the CCP its ideas.
Yeah.
It is literally in the
Bunch
CCP.
of BS, yeah.
It's just
the
CCP.
Yeah, it's the CCP.
It's like the way they masquerade. They're like, 4 of the stars on our flag are actually the different parties.
Yeah.
There's no party.
No.
There's definitely no party within the Communist Party of China, I'll tell you that.
No.
Anyway, for China to set up a blacklist of Taiwan separatists to be killed during China's special military operation against Taiwan. Remember we were talking about this a year ago?
Yeah.
We said, wow, this invasion that Russia just did in Ukraine, China is absolutely going to be taking notes for their own special military operation in Taiwan. And people are like, nah, Taiwan and Ukraine are different, right?
Yeah.
No. Not only did China fully back Russia and is trying to increase relations with Russia.
Sure.
They have been doing dry runs, like cutting off the internet to the Matsu Islands of Taiwan for a potential invasion. They have been encouraging, there's been massive incursions in Taiwan airspace.
Yeah.
And if you wanted any more evidence, literally the Chinese government says we are going to invade Taiwan to reunify no matter what.
Yeah, no matter. They keep saying.
So anyway, there's this resolution put forward to the CPPCC in the 2 sessions to say, well, when we invade Taiwan, we should have a blacklist of people that were separatists so that they could be murdered.
Yeah, to be killed during this special military operation.
In case you had any pretenses about peaceful reunification and one country, 2 systems, just throwing this out there.
Yeah, okay. It's good to know what they're thinking, what's being put forward as resolutions. It's always good. Now, guys, it's time for us to hit our soft power hour. Where is that? There we go. This is the main segment of the show. And this is where we're going to be talking to you all about the whole John Wick thing and more. It's very important.
Get hyped.
Get hyped. But before we do, we've got another little message for you.
I see you've hacked into the client database. It looks like we'll be able to do some good business destroying the Earth.
Yeah, mate. Finally, more destruction to the environment. I love it. I love it. Time for us to wet our whistles.
This is unacceptable. Look at here. We just did a massive deal with an oil company. This is not what we do.
This goes completely against what we like to do over here. This is not us. We are good for the Earth Corp.
I'll go deal with this right now. I'll make the call.
Hey, listen. We got a big deal over here. We're gonna have to call in the Surfshark. Can you do it? Yeah, I'm on it, bro. 10-4.
And just like that, Good for the Earth Corp was able to reverse the irreversible. They stopped the big oil deal with the evil oil baron. This video is brought to you by Surfshark VPN. People at Surfshark care about security so much that they created a VPN app that secures your data with industry-leading measures by using uncrackable encryption and the most secure VPN protocols. It provides IP and DNS leak protection so that nobody can find out where you're connecting from. What can I tell you about Surfshark? Well, it's fast and easy to use as you connect to the server that offers you the best speed by default. It's jam-packed with features that go way beyond the basics, and it's easy to install and run on unlimited devices on one single subscription. You might want to use it for traveling. You can overcome location-based price discrimination on plane tickets and car rentals by connecting to VPN servers in different countries. Or you can use it for streaming and entertainment as well. With Surfshark, you'll be chilling in style as you unlock 15 largest Netflix country libraries, including the US and Japan, by merely connecting to a server in the right country. Not only is it keeping you safe, but it's also super convenient to unlock content.
If you go to surfshark.deals/ADVpodcast and use the code ADVpodcast, you'll get 83% off a 2-year plan plus 3 extra months free. So not only are you supporting the channel, you're protecting your connection, opening your world up to a whole lot of content out there, and you're also getting a fantastic deal. So go to surfshark.deals/ADVpodcast and use the code ADVpodcast. Get that 83% off the 2-year plan and those 3 extra months for free. Thanks.
Okay, good. So soft power hour, eh? What's this?
This is horrific, absolutely horrific. But I
Okay.
wanted to put this out there. I thought, soft power hour gets the most traction.
Okay,
right?
so what do we got going on?
Do you know how in the U.S., if somebody disappears, they'll put out on milk cartons,
Like
they'll have-
Amber
send it,
Alerts.
send it
Yeah.
to your phone. Not just kids. I'm talking about anybody, right?
It actually surprised me when I got to America.
Yeah.
I'm not used to that.
Nice altruism.
I mean, like, quite honestly, it's not normal from where like South Africa.
Sure.
Maybe that used to exist, but not when I grew up. And then
I'll tell you where it's
yeah.
certainly not used to.
China.
It's in China, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, they put out things. Have you seen this person? Description. People help.
yeah, for those
out.
of you who don't know, not American, it's kind of shocked me that I got a random message on my phone that said, like, Amber Alert, looking for a silver Forerunner, whatever, and this and that. And I'm like, okay, that's nice, because somebody had kidnapped someone, and then they put that out to everyone.
Yeah.
And it's on the signs on the road, on the highway and stuff. It's like, Amber Alert, keep an eye out for this kind of car. And it's effective. And I looked into it, and it actually works.
Yeah.
They very often capture the people.
Now,
Yeah.
that also happens with just people sharing around on socials, right? So people would be like, make an Instagram post or send, have you seen this person, right?
Yeah.
Now imagine that in China, but looking for somebody that ran away from human trafficking and asking the people to help find the wife that he owns.
Yeah.
And they're like enthusiastically
Sure,
helping, because
sure.
that is quite literally what happens in China. That is the most messed up thing.
Is this on Douyin, by the way?
Yeah. So
it's on TikTok, China's TikTok.
yeah, this is it says missing people alert, right? So you expect it to be like a missing persons thing, and it's like Madagascaran woman ran away, right?
Okay.
And then the comments are like, oh yeah, they ran away. Vietnamese ones run too. You can explain the Vietnamese wife.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually pretty well known that because of the shortage of women in China, they traffic Vietnamese women over the border, and you've got gangs that actually sell wives to poor villagers in China. And there's a lot of scams that go along with this as well, actually, where you get agents that sell wives to these villages, and then they all get the money, and then they let the women stay there for a couple of days, then they sneak there at night, and then they all escape, and then they go sell them to another village, and that's how they make money. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it says Vietnamese are easy to find, not African. Both hard. I had a Vietnamese. And so people are just sharing their information about wives they literally bought. I'm not talking about mail orders. I'm talking about human trafficking.
Sure.
People that were like sold into slavery into China.
Yeah.
And so I thought this was just horrific that people were using mainstream social media
Like TikTok.
and then gathering around each other, rallying each other's support to find the human trafficked wife, because that's the guy's property.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, once again, we do have to bring up the whole chain woman incident. We're going to do a follow-up because it's been completely swept under the rug. We did cover it before. It made international news. But guess what? You haven't heard anything about it since, have you? Because they closed off the village. They don't allow people to talk about it. She's disappeared. No one cares. And that's how they do it in China. They literally take something that's in the spotlight and take it out of the spotlight and don't allow anyone to talk about it.
COVID oranges.
Yeah, and then it goes away. And that's what they do. It's like, ignorance is bliss. So anyway, that's good that you brought that up, because that's bloody horrendous.
Yes, but you guys are probably here for some John Wick.
Yeah, so let's get into the whole John Wick thing and why it's important. And it is more important than you think. Okay.
Yeah, goes deep.
So Donnie Yen is the Asian actor there, and we're going to talk a lot about him, Donnie Yen being a part of this. Okay. So why do people not like Donnie Yen?
So, Hong Kongers started this. This is not some Western imperialism.
No, this is I mean, you can see who started this petition. The Chinese name is right there.
Yeah. So, Hong Kongers don't like Donnie Yen, and there's a reason. Donnie Yen joined the Communist Party of China.
Yeah.
He's from Hong Kong, by the way.
Yeah.
He once had U.S. citizenship,
Yeah.
which he got rid of.
Yeah.
Whatever, it's his choice.
Yeah.
Even though there are literally millions of Chinese people that die for U.S. citizenship and die trying to come here.
Well, he did it obviously because having that would have been like a barrier of entry for him to be a part of the Communist Party of China and all that.
So he joined the CCP.
Yeah.
Right. Then he, I won't get into the other acronyms for all this stuff.
Actually, we can.
We can.
Let's take a look. So,
Kung Fu star Donnie Yen is listed as a member of this year's National Committee of the Chinese People Political Consultative Conference, CPPCC. CPPCC. CPPCC.
So you guys remember the CPPCC is this illusionary body that is supposed to advise. They're the outside democratic people to advise the CCP.
Well, it's actually just members of the CCP.
Yes, correct. It's all a big circle jerk. Anyway, Donnie Yen was a member, and then people in Hong Kong are like, what are you actually doing? You're a Hong Konger. We have a democratic territory. Yeah. We support democracy. We align more with the West than we do with China, right? And he also called the protesters, the millions of protesters, literally the 2 million protesters in Hong Kong that stood up against the CCP when the national security law was unleashed by the Chinese government, called them rioters, right? And made remarks that made him align with Beijing over the Hong Kong people.
Well, I mean, it's pretty obvious. Take a look what's going on here. Okay, blah, blah, blah. That's him, obviously, outside the 2 sessions here. He is full-on Communist Party member. There he is shaking the hands of Xi Jinping. And of course, here we have him standing right next to Xi Jinping, which, by the way, that's not normal.
That is like, I mean, you got connections.
Yeah. There he is right next to Xi Jinping during the gala.
And Carrie
Lam. And there's Xi Jinping's wife in the red dress on the other side. Yeah. But it just shows you how close he is to the Communist Party of China.
That's why.
Now, there's a reason for this, okay? The Communist Party of China knows how valuable somebody like Donnie Yen is, okay? Because he's well known internationally. He's an international star, and this is soft power. This is why we're in soft power hour right here, okay?
Yeah.
So here is an actual screenshot from that petition that's written by the Hong Kong guy, and I would like you to read it so that everybody can see exactly what the grievances are against Donnie Yen before we get into some damning interviews and so on that we've got for you.
Yeah, it says, to the Oscars committee, and the Oscars in the U.S.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
We, a group of people from Hong Kong, are writing to express our concern about your decision to invite an actor who supports the Chinese Communist Party's violation of human rights, Donnie Yen, as a presenter for the Oscars. As a globally recognized film award, the Oscars should represent the respect of human rights and moral values rather than the support of the actions that violate them. Donnie Yen, a supporter of the Chinese Communist regime, has made several remarks in support of the Chinese government's policies, including supporting the implementation of national security law in Hong Kong. By the way, that law means that if you speak out against the Chinese government in Hong Kong,
you get arrested.
You get arrested and you get tried as basically a mainland person. And accusing Hong Kong protesters of being rioters. These remarks not only violate the spirit of freedom of speech, but also deny the rights of the people of Hong Kong to fight for their freedom and democracy, which I agree with.
Yeah.
We strongly condemn this decision, which not only shows contempt for the people of Hong Kong, but also provokes the global public. If the Oscars committee continues to invite such a person as a guest presenter, it will damage the image and reputation of the film industry and cause serious harm to human rights and moral values. Agree with that as well, especially with people trying to push Hollywood from, stopping to capitulate to the Chinese government. Sure. We demand that the Oscars committee reconsider this decision and cancel the invitation of Donnie Yen as a presenter for the Oscars. Let us work together to uphold human rights and moral values and make the Oscars a truly respectful award. Thank you for your time and attention. Now, I just want to throw my spin on this real quick.
Sure.
I don't particularly care too much about like what goes on in the entertainment field, as long as things are staying above board and not like removing content for the Communist Party of China. Yeah. If an actor uses his personal decision to decide to evilly chase power and become part of the CCP, go for it, dude. Yeah. Do what you want to do. If you want to go down that path, you have to live with yourself, right?
Sure.
But I think it comes with a lot of baggage, and it was stuff that we started uncovering. I went from not really caring and saying might be a personal decision that has really bad implications to, wait, there might be some bullshit going on here.
Sure.
And you can get into that.
Yeah, anyway, I uncovered this wonderful interview with Donnie Yen that I thought we should all take a look at here. Okay, so let's get us out of here for this one. Let's take a quick look. Here it goes.
我在北京。
还有呢？
谁妄想这样干，必将在14多亿中国人民用血肉铸成的钢铁长城面前碰得头破血流。
强国有我，请党放心有我。
I'm going to need a gun.
자 그러면 우리
Okay, so, I mean, first of all, we have to talk about why Donnie Yen is popular.
By the way, that was a parody. That was Xi Jinping's speech.
Yeah.
I just don't want anyone to be confused. It doesn't speak Chinese. That was Xi Jinping's speech where he said Chinese people will defend him, basically.
Well, no, he said that I will use
Yeah.
the Chinese people as a meat shield.
That's literally what you could really translate
That's
that to.
what it
Yeah.
is.
Anyway, so that's a joke. But what's not a joke is what you're about to say.
Yeah, okay, so why is Donnie Yen popular? Okay, there's a reason. He's actually a very accomplished martial artist. He's actually, very
One of the
good
best,
at Wing Chun, I think it is, and Kung Fu and stuff, and that's what he does. He's known. He's kind of like a Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, Jet
And a good
Li.
actor as well.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so here's a clip of him demonstrating some of his, abilities. By the way, I didn't edit this.
Okay.
I have to preface you, this particular clip, I didn't touch it. I just cut it out out of the show.
And this is not even making fun of Donnie Yen.
No.
I love the background.
I promise you. I
love
did.
Korean TV. They do this thing on Korean shows where they do things like 3 times.
It's the same. They're trying to copy this. It's called Running Man. This.
Yeah.
I was sorely disappointed because I really liked the movie The Running Man, and then Running Man. I turn it on and it's like this.
Yeah.
Someone will freak out and go and they have to repeat it 3 times. But yeah, that's it. If you're listening to that out of context,
dude, that was .mp3
it's
times
so bad,
6.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought we'd show you some of his prowess. He's an incredibly good martial artist, and why he became so popular. I thought I'd give you guys a couple of clips for those of you who just aren't familiar with his work. Let's take a look.
Let's see whose fists are the fastest. Yours or mine?
Thank you.
Okay, so as you can see, fantastic martial artist. He's very good at what
Very
he does.
tenacious, very resilient.
Yeah, very resilient. Yeah. But now, why is it?
By the way, Mike Tyson, probably one of the best actors out there.
Absolutely.
He really puts on a good lisp. He puts on the whole. By the way, I think I know how he got the gig.
Oh, he's got a Mao Zedong tattoo.
There's like a dog whistle, right?
Yeah.
How are you going to get into a CCP affiliated film unless you got a Mao tattoo?
Yeah.
Mike Tyson has a badass Mao tattoo.
Yeah.
Big celebrator of genocide, apparently.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, okay, here's the thing. I used to really enjoy Donnie Yen movies. I used to watch them when I was in China.
Yeah.
I love Hong Kong movies in general. I think there's specifically that sweet spot in the 90s, the late 80s and the early 90s that are just amazing, from Beijing with Love and that kind of thing.
Absolutely love it.
Super good. God of Gamblers, all that kind of thing. Like Hong Kong movies are very special.
Amazing.
They're very cool. Super entertaining, super cool. Anyway, So I used to watch Donnie Yen movies, and I enjoyed it a lot because I think he is actually legitimately a very good martial artist, and I'm not making that up. I really do think so. But then my wife and I sat down to watch Ip Man 4, okay? And I was appalled. Ip Man 4...
You got trigged, bro? You got mad trigged?
Literally propaganda. It is horrendous.
Right.
Okay, and I have to set this up for you guys. So the whole thing behind Ip Man 4, in Ip Man 1, it's kind of set historically, it's during the Japanese occupation, and, the Japanese are doing, like, all the horrible things, and he comes in there and he beats them up with his kung fu, and it's that type of thing. And
it's fantasy,
kind of,
obviously.
It's
fine.
revolutionary fantasies, really.
Revolutionary fantasy.
It absolutely is,
style.
yeah. But it moves on from that. So now, in Ip Man 4, it's like in the 50s, okay? And he's in Hong Kong, and he's like, I want to send my son, I think it's his son, I want to send my son to America to study. Because, of course, even now in Hong Kong, that's a very popular thing to do, is to send your children abroad. In China.
In China?
In fact,
if you
in
have
China,
money, yeah.
If you have money, you send your kids abroad. I mean, even, all the big officials and stuff send their kids abroad.
Normal.
Yeah. So the premise of this movie is he goes to America to go and, like, check things out, to send his son over there.
Yeah.
What does he encounter in America? He encounters the most bizarre, like, ridiculous racism and discrimination against Asians.
The whole movie is built on like racism.
Yeah, there's like a Marine drill instructor who's just racist and goes and beats up Chinese people in Chinatown.
Right.
Then there's like a Chinese soldier in his regiment who wants to practice with his kung fu, and the racist Marine sergeant comes in and, like, forces him to burn it. He's like, we won't have that, insert racial slur stuff on our base. Then he challenges and beats up all the Chinese people. And then, Donnie Yen comes in and teaches him a lesson, basically, and beats him up and, like, sets everything right. And the end of the film, Donnie Yen goes back to China and says, it's better for my son to study and stay in China than to go to America.
That's what made it so fishy to me, is that in the end, there's a lesson, and that's don't go to America because it's bad.
And it's like, put yourself in Donnie Yen's shoes. You're considering to send your children to go study in America? Well, better not, because look, Donnie Yen went over there and saw how full of racism and shit it is and how terrible it is. So rather let your child study here.
I mean, granted, it does take place in the 50s. So there obviously was massive amounts of racism back then. But here's my problem with it, is that the transparency of this, I think, is not there. I feel like if you showed this to an American audience, people watch that, acknowledge the racism of the past, come out of that movie and say that was an entertaining movie, right?
Yes.
By the way, I think the acting in this is horrific.
Well, we have to show you a scene.
I just want to say something. People in China...
Yeah.
And it's not to say people are brainwashed to the extent they can't decide if a movie's fact or fiction, but the Chinese government uses movies like this to promote their agenda. So when you see this clip, keep that in mind. There's two different perspectives people would look at this from, right?
Yeah.
It'd be looked at as fact.
By the way, I also want to preface that the actress, the young girl here who's supposed to be Chinese, is actually
mixed,
half Chinese.
Yeah.
And she's anyway, that's
Whatever.
It is what it is. But if they could have.
Don't know why
they could have done it a bit different if they wanted to drive this home. Anyway, let's take a look.
Look so great out there. You look like a little yellow monkey. We're not going to follow your lead. In America, people like you follow. They don't lead.
What do you want? Just leave me alone.
If you're not happy, then go back to Asia.
Like this. I mean, it's just this like, kind of it's like race baiting.
Yeah, if you're gonna race bait, do it properly, like with good acting and shit.
Like, who says this?
It's so cherry picked and badly written. It's so bad.
Yeah, and it just fits into all the narrative that's going on at the moment with the anti-Asian hate and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
And don't discriminate against
this is 2019,
China.
right?
So it's smack bang in the middle of all of that.
We saw this massive campaign come out of China that was trying to... Remember that, when people were supporting the Stop Asian Hate movement, like us, we watched the CCP start co-opting that and saying, oh, yeah, sure, that's great. By the way, if you criticize the Chinese government, that's Asian hate. And they tried to co-opt that movement. This is right before that happened. So this movie was quoted a lot, and it kind of picked up a lot for kind of driving that point home during their campaign.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll play a little more. Here we go.
This has been our land for generations.
Who says that?
I mean, come on.
Who says that?
Who says that? Anyway.
It wasn't even, she didn't even like say anything to her to prompt that. Anyway.
No. You walked up to someone and says like, get out of here.
Yeah, get out of here. You don't like
land.
it. Yeah, for generations.
It's my land, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
What do you people want from us?
Now I know why they call you stupid blonde. America has always had immigrants. The Indians are the only real Americans.
By the way, just want to say something about that. There has been this campaign we picked up on.
Yeah.
Both you and I, when we were doing search results, China's trying to get search results about the Native American genocide from, the white people that came to America.
Yeah.
Which is a well-taught history for something I learned.
No one's hiding it.
Literally nonstop in school. They're trying to get Chinese government search results to be on the top of the search page so that you learn about the Native American genocide from the Chinese government web pages.
Yeah, exactly. When you type like Xinjiang genocide, it comes up with that first.
Native American genocide and
it's
stuff
interesting.
like that. Anyway.
Yeah.
That aside, pale face.
Yeah, it's like your ancestors stole their land.
Ancestors stole their land. Pale face.
What did you just say to me?
And it goes on to this massive like fight scene.
Anyway, so like all the white kids come and beat up the Asian kid, and then
because the Nazi girl like showed up
and then Donnie Yen steps in and like
shit.
teaches them all a lesson,
He like snaps at them and they die and shit.
It's like
beats some high schoolers.
Yeah, stay out of this, old man.
Oh, you want some too?
Donnie Yen kicks their ass.
Yeah, I gotta say, like, if you gotta, you want some of this, old man? What's it like? Stay out of this, old man. Oh, you want some of this too? At least have a response. It's a very bad dialogue.
I don't want to get involved in this all this race stuff, but I will say that looking back at this with fresh eyes now, and watching how the whole thing played out, it's very, very much in line with what the CCP has been pushing. Don't send your kids abroad. No more monetary outflux. They don't want money leaving China anymore.
Yeah.
No more brain drain.
Yeah.
And all of this stuff kind of lines up with, maybe this is less entertainment race baiting bullshit as it is propaganda.
It's propaganda. And by the way, Donnie Yen he produced that.
Yeah, he was one of the 3 producers.
Yeah, so it's not like he's just an actor following orders. No. This is his idea. This is his thing.
And then, doesn't it make sense, though? When you look at something like that without that context, I'll just brush it aside and be like, that's not for me, right? But like, whatever, it's lazy race-baiting bullshit.
Yeah.
But when I look at it with the context of he joined the CCP.
Yes.
He denounced his own people in Hong Kong, the people that are fighting for democracy, ethnically Chinese people.
Yeah.
Gave up the U.S. citizenship. And then went on to try to appease the Chinese market to the point where he was literally standing next to Xi Jinping in performance. Like, it all makes sense, doesn't it?
He also demanded that his role in John Wick 4, that a lot of it was rewritten because he thought it was too stereotypical something or other. But I can guarantee if you look into it, there'll be something that's kind of against the Chinese government or something that casts China in the kind of light that the CCP doesn't like.
I would never make that insinuation until I see his affiliation with the Chinese government.
Yeah, so I'm just saying that's a possibility.
My issue with this is that you can do whatever you want or whatever. Like, I don't like to get involved too much in this stuff because entertainment's different than what we're talking about, usually human rights atrocities. But this does overlap into human rights because the Chinese government is the worst abuser of Chinese human rights in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a government that is operating concentration camps right now. And Donnie Yen is a part of the government that does that. Yeah. And that's really, really not cool to have someone like that represent an entire industry standing up on posters for an internationally popular film.
Yeah, for a very popular film. And I mean, this is back to the whole title of this episode and everything is... The more popular somebody like Donnie Yen is, the more sway they have over people's opinions. Okay, you look up to someone like that. You know, people pay attention to what they have to say, and if that person that has so much sway over people is literally a part of the Chinese government, part of their process of what they do, out there spreading the word of the Chinese Communist Party, that can be very dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, again, I am not 100% sold on this whole affiliation. Like, I don't know how much sway the CCP had over this new film and John Wick. I'm not trying to say anything like that.
No, but the fact is, because he is so popular and because he is in films like John Wick 4, his popularity just gets boosted to the stratosphere, and Xi Jinping knows this, and that's why he's standing next to Xi Jinping.
It's so convenient.
You know?
Like someone that I love to see Asian representation in movies, especially in Hollywood. I think it's fantastic. And it really, it's serving to undo some of the unfair past, right?
Yeah.
But when the person that's being propelled to the spotlight, and then, so that other people are not getting the spotlight, right?
Yeah.
Someone else could have had that role,
Sure.
right? That person is quite literally in the Chinese government.
He is, yeah.
I mean, there's no he did a book signing and there was
he's
some
part.
CCP
He's
people.
part of the government.
He's in the Chinese government.
He is part of the Chinese government.
Yeah, I mean that's just like whoa. You know what I mean? Anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, you could say the same for any like very left-leaning or very right-leaning person in politics or whatever. If you decide to put them in an acting role and they're getting very popular, they sway opinions.
Yeah.
So
unfortunately, it's for one of the worst regimes in human history.
So that's pretty much why we had to bring this up and tell you all about it.
By the way, I want to say that this is not the first time this has happened with a very famous Hong Konger.
No,
There's
Jackie
a
Chan.
deep history of this.
Yeah.
Jackie Chan, who sold out completely to the Chinese government.
He sold his own son out.
He ratted out his own son in Beijing.
Yeah, he didn't support him. Anyway, it's
just shake off the nephrotholysis.
Yeah, exactly.
Shake off the kidney stones.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's move on, shall we? It's time for us to do Wu Mao Corner, where we talk about how the haters are kind of getting there and what they're doing to change your mind too. And
can I say something about
so
Keanu Reeves real quick?
Sure.
Mad props.
Yeah.
Supported Tibet freedom.
Yeah.
Outspoken about the atrocities of the Chinese government, which is very interesting to see them both in that movie.
Yeah.
Because I believe, if I might be wrong, but I believe he's banned from China.
I think he
probably is. He's very outspoken about Tibet independence, so I'm pretty sure that's not allowed, right?
Yeah, no, he's
so
great.
Props to
I
him.
like him a lot.
Yeah.
I like him a lot.
Love him.
His Chinese sucks though.
Well, what do you expect? He's not Chinese.
No, but he had to speak Chinese in a movie. I can't remember which one it was.
That has nothing to do with Keanu. This is a swath of people. We were thinking about doing an episode at some point of all the American actors or whatever actors trying to speak Chinese on movies and trying to dupe the audience because it's hilarious.
It's so bad. So
on Friends and on everything, really.
That clip that I showed earlier where he spoke to Donnie Yen, I used Xi Jinping's voice for Donnie Yen, and I used Keanu's voice for his own self. Because he did speak Chinese in a movie once. And it's so bad.
So bad.
So bad. It's so bad that you have to watch. You know what's the worst? Is which is Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom or something. Which one of the Indiana Jones, and he's in Shanghai apparently. The one with Short Round in it.
Yeah. I love those movies. It's been so long though.
Yeah. So anyway, there's a scene where he's supposed to be talking Chinese or Cantonese or something, but it's not even a language. He's just saying random sounds. Yeah. It's so bad. Anyway.
That triggers me hard. Is that when Westerners try to speak fake Chinese on Hollywood movies.
Yeah, it's
it'll take you 10 minutes to memorize a line.
Yeah.
Stop.
Anyway, we'll bring that up at some point in the future. Yeah. Anyway, guys, before we continue again, do you guys know about this little thing we got going on Mondays, our secret show called Shaban Ho?
Do you know about it?
Do you know about it? If not, this is what you missed last week. Cheating husbands that are being punished. You know how many times I was propositioned by married women when I was in China? I'm speaking as if I had a whole lot of girlfriends. I didn't, by the way.
You only had 150 or 200 or so. You'll see this. It's like public displays, right? It's like, no, I didn't mean to.
That last one was a bit over the top, I think.
Yeah, it was rough.
So this guy's being caught. He's getting a bit of an ass whipping.
They're like, don't do that.
Yeah.
They even slap you in the balls sometimes.
No, that never happened.
Oh, that happened to me once. Punched me as hard as he could in the balls. And I puked. My Chinese boyfriends didn't care when I hit him in the balls.
First of all, that's inappropriate.
Yeah.
We couldn't show a guy getting hit in the head in the leg with a hatchet.
We would never show such a
never.
thing. Never. Not on Shaban Ho. I wanted to go over this real quick.
Sure.
First of all, tell them where they can go.
Oh, yeah. You can go to patreon.com/ADV podcasts and join the Shaban Ho tier if you'd like to see that.
Some people were confused about the tier, so I wanted to go through this real quick. Number one, the best way to support us financially is definitely through Patreon. Absolutely, positively. People ask that all the time. What's the best way to support you guys?
Yeah, we'd love that.
100%. Because not only do you support us directly, but you get an access to our secret show on Monday.
Yeah.
Our secret show, VIP show. No one can see it except for the people that join this patron.
Sure.
And there's 3 tiers. First tier, the $5 tier, you get access to our Discord and you support us, obviously.
Yeah.
Our Discord is a huge community of our supporters. There's meme submissions. There's all kinds of inside jokes. You know, you got everything across the board there. If you join the $10 tier, you get the audio version of our secret show every Monday.
Yeah.
And if you join the $20 tier, the Xiaoban Ho tier, you get it's a live show on Mondays. You get access to every previous show. So we're up to like, 37 or something now.
Yeah.
It's all the stuff we can't talk about on YouTube. It's like I don't want to say dicey, but it's like the stuff that it's not like extra material. It's whole topics
of
that we
course,
can't cover here
It's
because
not,
of
it's not the
reasons.
same as this show. It's
Yes,
different.
It's very special. And everyone loves it. We have such a good time. So it's every Monday live, and then you get access. You don't have to be there live. You can watch it after the fact. It's fine. And there's access to the whole thing. So that's the explanation of the tiers and how to get there. You have to go to patreon.com.
Yeah, this one.
/ADV podcast. Not only is it the best way to support the channel. What are some topics we've covered there?
Oh, we've covered all sorts of all the crazy foreigners we've met in China, the fake alcohol, the cheating on wives' punishments.
It's not just chats though. We've done full exposés.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's pretty wild stuff.
Yeah, it's a fun show, but listen, only if you can afford it.
Obviously.
If you have the means, please, we'd love to see you there. It means a lot to us, of course.
does.
And for those of you who already do follow us there, you know the deal. We are eternally grateful for your support, and thank you for helping us do what we do.
Yeah.
So anyway, we should carry on with the show. What do you reckon?
Carry on my wayward show.
We got to get a copyright strike for that. Not all the Hollywood
Probably.
stuff that we've shown.
No, we're really pushing the limits today.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're screwed. So yeah, what's going on? What happened?
Crossing the red line. This is our segment when we bring up basically when the Chinese government warns other countries about not to cross that red line.
Yeah.
They have done this thousands of times at this
They
point.
have.
So much to the point where an actual parody article finally came up about crossing the red line.
Well, do you know that in Russia they have a saying, China's final warning?
Yes.
It's like an actual idiom that you use in everyday life, and it just means it's not serious.
It's quite literally on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
It says China's final warning, a Russian proverb that originated as a Soviet political joke in the Soviet Union in the 1950s, meaning a warning that carries no real consequences.
Yes.
It is literally from the 50s.
Yes.
They've been doing this shit. Mao started this shit.
Yeah, of course.
If somebody with a lot of time on their hand, or just likes puzzles and trains, sat around and actually compiled every time that China warned another country, saying it's their final red line, do not cross. And it showed by year how many times. And there's spikes. There's some spikes where there's 1,000 in a year.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's insane.
Yeah.
They just can't stop final warning the red line.
Yeah.
So finally, someone put out a satire article I thought was
Well,
absolutely
it
hilarious.
says
I wanted to read it.
China issues final warning to U.S. saying regular warning, not final enough. Okay.
It's absolutely. I wanted to read a couple, but it's too little.
Oh yeah, it is too little. What are you
so
gonna do?
I don't know what I can do. I guess I could. What I can do is pull it up here. Oh, here I got it.
Okay.
It's too little on our ghetto monitor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it says the Chinese Foreign Minister Qin Gang, which is the new one by the way, he's supposed to be pro-U.S. Warned Tuesday that the U.S. needs to stop making China issue warnings to the U.S. or risk another devastating final warning. Citing recent allegations of spying and hostile behavior, China warned the U.S. from mentioning. Qin said in a speech that China explored no other option but to issue a final warning, fearing that a regular warning was not final enough, and that diplomatic options would make China appear weak. This is very, as much as this is satire, it's very accurate.
True, yeah.
A tiger does not negotiate with an eagle, only warn the eagle from getting too close, Qin said during a news conference. We are serious this time. Any attempt to continue existing will result in further warnings, some of them final. Chinese leader Xi Jinping stood next to his foreign minister during the speech, occasionally hyping him up by yelling out final warnings to Japan, South Korea, India, and the Philippines, while also announcing a Taiwan diss track is set to drop later this year. Do not try and contain us. We will respond forcefully when our military is up to the standards, but until then, our diss track will serve as a final warning and will be devastating for all Western countries, she said. A U.S. Department spokesman said in a statement Tuesday, they are aware of the upcoming diss track and hopes tensions ease before another final warning is issued. The last quote is, we have successfully ignored China's warnings for decades, and we'll successfully ignore this upcoming garbage diss track as well, the statement said.
So that was a parody, of course, but it was just so true. It's ridiculous.
Yes, that was pretty funny.
What is this nonsense that you put into the pack here? Oh, let me go
Why
back.
are you saying nonsense? Why are you calling my stuff nonsense?
It is not.
Okay, you guys don't want to know about it.
No, I said it's nonsense because it's nonsense, not you're putting it in as nonsense.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It's like, what is this trash?
Yeah, so the World Baseball Classic's kind of like the Olympics for baseball, right? Taiwan won, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Shout out. You sound very hyped.
No, I don't follow baseball.
But isn't that nice for Taiwan to win?
Super nice, yeah. 4, whatever. Yeah, you know.
That's golf.
Steel base. You steal bases?
Yeah. 4 is literally golf.
I know 4 is golf.
Okay,
So
cool.
stealing is base, and you get a number
Stealing is
of
mad
runs
base.
and wickets and
No
stuff.
wickets. That's
okay.
cricket. Wicket
I know.
cricket.
I know.
rhymes.
Wicket cricket. Yeah, let's do it.
Full length replay. So the 2023.
Sports ball,
this
you
is stop that. What are you, one of those? Now, no offense, but now I know where the furry elements are coming.
Now, come on, dude. Seriously, I know the difference between sports. I just don't follow sports.
Sure, you're not dumb.
No, I know. The
Anyway,
difference. I know it.
So there's picture of Taiwan flag, right?
Okay, so what's wrong with this?
This is from Fox Sports, okay?
Mm-hmm.
This triggered me to no end.
Okay.
Full-length replay, 2023 World's Baseball Classic. It was Panama versus Chinese Taipei.
Okay, that's bad enough calling it Chinese type.
Bad enough because, the international body of whatever, athletics or whatever, says that it's not allowed to be called Taiwan because China won't let them.
Mm-hmm.
So then China's like, we won't participate. They're like Karens, right?
Oh, it's like a stupid person who's like, when their ex-girlfriend or something becomes famous, like my ex-girlfriend
Yes.
Judy,
Yes.
and
Yes.
it's like my ex-fiancee Judy, and they're like, how about just calling her Judy?
Yeah,
she actually has got nothing to do with you
You
anymore.
don't own her, right?
Nope.
But China does that.
Yeah.
China says that you must be called Chinese Taipei.
Yes.
Chinese Taipei. They don't
Yeah.
even get the rest of the island. Just
No,
Taipei.
just Taipei,
Do you know
yeah.
why? Because they claim Taiwan is a province of China, so
Yeah.
Taipei would be the capital of that.
Oh, right.
So you can't call it Taiwan because Taiwan is not anything to China, right?
It's crazy.
So they force them to call it Chinese Taipei,
But that's not the worst
Fox
part.
Sports went one further. Fox, congratulations! I want to give you a hand because you did Chinese propaganda for them, maybe without even coercion.
Yeah.
Let's see here. It says from Taichung Intercontinental Baseball Stadium. I know where that is, by the way. I've actually been there. I've been to a
Right.
lot of games there.
Yeah.
In Taichung, Taiwan, province of China. They didn't have to write that.
No.
I mean, someone told them to, obviously, right?
It's dumb. It's like saying, reporting live from Scranton, Pennsylvania, a state of the United States of America.
Yeah. But
Why do you have to say
it's
that?
It's worse than that because at least our state is a state
Yeah,
of
that's
America.
true. Yeah.
In China, Taiwan is contested, and Taiwan doesn't believe it's a province of China, right?
Yeah, I mean,
So-
what is a part of America that's no longer a part of America?
I guess Puerto Rico.
Okay, so well,
Yeah.
you'd say like from Puerto Rico,
American Samoa.
a state,
A
or from,
state.
or how about this? Yeah,
Yeah.
from Canada, Ontario, Canada, a state of America.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, of the
that's-
United States
That's
of
much
America.
better. That's much better.
Because that's
Yeah.
what they're doing.
Yeah, yes.
You know?
Imagine saying that.
Yeah, I just did.
Anyway, Taiwan is, despite what the Libertarian Party of Georgia said, Taiwan is not a part of China.
Yeah.
I don't know why the Libertarians are going all in on
Mm-hmm.
China's occupation of Taiwan as a justified base thing. But anyway,
Yeah.
so that was there, and I wanted to give a massive shout out to Fox Sports. Thank you so much for just going all in on the Chinese propaganda.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Now, another prop I wanted to go in my segue. Of course, I'm a big statistic guy.
Sure.
I wanted to give a mad prompts to Taiwan this year for Freedom House. Freedom House is a massive think tank that conglomerates all the elements of what makes a country free or not free.
Yeah.
Democratic elements, human rights, voting, all that kind of stuff, everything, right?
Yeah.
Taiwan is now has surpassed the U.S., by the way, is now up to number 2 freest country in Asia.
Yeah.
So Asia's huge, right?
Right.
Number 2, I believe Japan's only higher.
Yeah.
So we are now at Taiwan as being number 2 in all of Asia. Kind of a big problem for China because China now ranks 80th.
Yeah, 80th. Yeah, makes
80th
sense.
in
Yeah.
Asia.
Yeah.
I believe 152 or 153 or something in the world. China, just want to give you a little final warning here.
Yeah, sure.
Not a warning, but if you're claiming that Taiwan is part of China, then why do they rank number 2 in Asia in freedom and you rank 80th? I don't think
not the same.
that's a very good look.
It's not the same place.
Maybe you raise your stat up and they'll want to join.
Yeah,
Right?
maybe. Give him some incentive, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what's next in our list of things? Is this not supposed to be international news, by the way?
Oh, this is Wumao Corner.
Oh, it's still Wumao Corner.
Yeah, for sure. Because the Wumaos went after this. Who's this guy? Josh Hawley.
Josh Hawley.
Okay, so
he's
this is some senator
I think
news.
he's a senator. Yeah.
Now, by the way, I shouldn't have to say this, and I normally never would. We have to, just because of how unbelievably ridiculously polarized everyone is. This is not an endorsement of Josh Hawley's questionable politics. We did a little, I'm not going to say deep dive. We had a cursory glance of some of his stances on some very important issues. And
Neither of us knew who he was.
yeah, I can say both of us don't support many of his issues.
Sure.
But what we will say is that this is, let's just remove his name out of this. This is indicative of, I support his letter here.
Yeah.
This is indicative of what China is doing, the lengths that they are going to try to influence political bodies around the world, even in America.
Yeah, of course.
To not talk about certain things. And that is outlandish to me. So props to him on this letter. What does it say?
Well, first of all, he tweeted out, he said, China has been so worked up about this COVID origins bill. Communist officials wrote to my office earlier this week and demanded I drop it. I thought I'd update President Xi on today's passage. So, dear President Xi, today the U.S. House of Representatives followed, it's pretty small up there. Do we have a bigger one down here?
Yes.
Followed the, I'll
try to pull
it's
up
too
one
small
for you.
up there. It's kind of annoying to read. You got it? You got a sessions? You can just look them up.
Yeah, it'll take me 2 seconds. Is it that one? No, sorry.
No.
Just give me a sec. Well, entertain everyone.
Yeah.
There we go.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, you can read it since it's on your computer.
It says, Dear President Xi. Don't call him a president, by the way. Why have we gotten to this point where people are actually calling him a president? It's like a psyop from China.
Yeah, it's a chairman.
Yeah.
Chairman Mao Zedong.
He could be a chairman. He could be I'm going to call him a dictator because that's
Sure,
what he is.
sure.
Dear Dictator Xi. He says president, though. Today, the U.S. House of Representatives followed the Senate in unanimously adopting my bill to declassify U.S. government intelligence on the origins of the COVID virus. Can I say thank you so much? When Congress agrees, that's incredible.
Sure.
Right? Thank you so much. This is a bipartisan effort.
That's what it's all about.
Very happy to see this happen. So mad props.
Doesn't matter what your politics are.
Doesn't matter.
We all got to come together when we're facing tyranny.
Yes, and authoritarianism and human rights atrocities. I know you're keenly interested in this bill. Your own communist officials have written to my office demanding that we renounce it in their usual lecturing idiotic style.
I kind of like that.
I like it. I like this letter.
Yeah.
But the bill will soon be law. Unless you can convince President Biden to veto it. Not going to happen. Time is up. Come clean about your role in spreading COVID to the world. Very sincerely yours, Josh Hawley. And I got to give mad props.
Props for the letter.
Despite the questionable things that I very much disagreed with in your recent past, that was a great letter. And I applaud the bipartisan effort to stand up to the Chinese government.
Well, we've got to stop allowing a foreign government to dictate what you can and can't say within your own country.
Correct.
What you can and can't, investigate or do.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm all for that. That's a great letter.
That's a good letter. Props letter. I thought this was, you guys like a little bit of dystopia in your show, right?
We're going to talk about AI.
Yes, younger and beautiful.
We can never talk about AI without Sarah.
Yeah, exactly.
China's official spokeslady in Minecraft for China's AI program.
Absolutely, yeah.
What does this say? What does this banner say? Propaganda banner.
Presentation in conference. Party-led AI.
Party-led
AI.
And party
okay?
means the
Communist
Gongchan
Party,
Dang,
yeah. The socialist AI path with Chinese characteristics. The only path and choice in the Chinese-led Fourth Industrial Revolution.
It literally says that,
by
the way. I put that out on Instagram, and people thought that my translation of it was my opinion of what.
No, that's what it says.
It's literally what it says. They're promoting now, and I'll tell you why this happened. China's freaking terrified of AI. Massively terrified of even just small bots like ChatGPT, right? Because those things rely on the fact that a society is open and free enough to be able to have dialogue, right?
Yeah.
And China doesn't have those things. Now, you can argue there's, chat AI models and all that kind of stuff that implement censorship, right? But you have to understand that if a real one will proliferate or be the best one, then it's going to be the most open one. That's what people are going to want to use,
Of
right?
course.
China can't do that. They have to control the narrative. Remember, Freedom House Index 9 out of 100 here for China.
Yeah.
They have to control every piece of media. Every media in China is state-owned.
Yeah.
So you have a situation where AI can tell you the truth about things like what's happening with the Uyghurs, how many people died under Mao, what is Xi Jinping doing wrong, right?
Yeah, what
was the
happened in
origin of the
1989?
coronavirus? What happened in 1989? You have all these things that just really would blow the lid for a lot of Chinese people that don't know.
Yeah.
And you have a situation where China can't control the narrative. So they're now coming up with a model called party-led AI.
Yes.
And you have to follow the principles of the Chinese Communist Party and go down the socialism with Chinese characteristics path of AI.
Yeah.
Then that's the AI you should support.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, that's dystopian and awful.
Yes.
Now it's time for us to go to Worldview, where we talk about everything in the world, specifically with regards to China. So it's kind of like what's new.
Yeah.
In a way.
This was something people were quite literally, I'm not going to say begging, but like very interested in covering. And I'll tell you what, this has been a very politically charged episode, and we normally don't get into domestic politics, but I did want to weigh in on this because I think there's some stuff you can walk away from with this to have a more informed opinion.
I agree.
So there is a thing that I was reading, and it's from House of Representatives in California.
I thought that meant Republican.
No, that's
just
representative.
representatives.
Rep Judy Chu. Okay. I looked into her. Very well accomplished politician, right?
Sure.
Ethnically Chinese. I am target of the right's new McCarthyism. I actually sympathized with her deeply in the article, not about the partisan politics. I don't give a shit about partisan politics, if I'm totally honest with you. But more so the finger pointing based on ethnicity as a cheap shot. I think it's bullshit, and I hate that.
I agree.
It doesn't matter where you're from. America's, not to quote the Yip Man 4 movie, but America is a country of immigrants, everyone included, and everyone belongs here, right?
Well, only if your people have been there for generations.
What do you mean?
That's what she said.
Oh, sorry, you're finishing the quote. Yeah, sorry. Anyway,
only in the Native Americans are the real Americans.
Yes,
don't forget that.
So I was looking into this because I was agreeing with her sentiments here because of some bullshit Tucker Carlson was bullying and some other bullshit. Shock jock type people that people take verbatim for news. And I was agreeing. I mean, they were not pulling out any sort of accusations of her being CCP tied that hold any weight, right? Yeah. But what I thought was very bad about something she didn't address was some things that are publicly available that are right out there on the internet, right? And I do hope that her cabinet can address this because I do think the accusations were unfair, the ones that were made.
Yeah.
But there are ones out there that I think do hold water, and she did not acknowledge these, right? Sure. In this whole thing about, it's unfair targeting me based on being Asian hate attacks, all this kind of stuff that I agree with.
Yeah, of course.
This is the Forum for Peaceful Reunification of China, okay? And this is where I take some issue.
Yeah.
This is a body.
They presented a certificate to her.
Presented a certificate to her and
to
made her an
Judy
honorary.
Chu to be our honor president.
Well, that means honorary.
Yeah.
Right.
In recognition of your outstanding friendship and support.
So here's my issue with this: is that before I get into what this organization is, I want you to. I hope you agree with me that if someone hands you something and makes you an honor or anything, it doesn't make you complicit in something, right? Like if you handed me something and said, "You are the honorary you're the honorary chapter captain of my football club," and it turns out your football club's actually some like KKK organization.
Sure.
I'm like, what? I didn't know that. That's bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
That's not necessarily my fault, right?
Sure.
By the way, that didn't happen.
No, it never happened. I mean,
anyway,
I would never invite you to my football club.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Shows how friendly you are.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's not an accusation of anything. What this is that I would hope when you're being faced with some sort of criticism based on your CCP ties, which I don't know that there are any.
Yeah.
You would address something like this because this is not a good look. Because go to the next slide, please. This is not a PowerPoint, I promise.
Yeah.
This is just a media pack. This is actually a branch of the China Center for the Promotion of Peaceful National Reunification, right?
Yeah.
And this is a very, very, very bad organization. And I don't need to tell you why, because you could probably glean that from the title.
Yes.
This is an organization from the Chinese government that operates under the United Front. Can you tell everyone what the United Front is?
The United Front is China's organization that goes out there and meddles in politics around the world and meddles internationally to change narratives. And for instance, they're in charge of the Confucius Institutes. They're in charge of bribing officials and government, and they're involved in all these really terrible organizations that go out there to try and promote China's narrative.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they're very in-depth, and they're embedded in all governments around the world and in all the universities and stuff. They find ways into them, and you can always trace it back to the United Front. That's their job. It's like international influence campaign.
You've done a good job, but I think you're also just downplaying it slightly. But it is one of the most nefarious groups out there. It's not just education.
Sure.
It is the group in China that is responsible for manipulating and infiltrating governments.
Yeah, that's what I said there.
No,
I could have said it better.
No, you said it great. You said it great. But it's not just, I'm not talking about getting into the leadership of like universities and stuff. This goes all the way to the top. It's kind of like having secret agents go into your country's government and try to win people over. And
Australia's got a huge problem with the United Front. Yeah.
So that thing that they presented her with is a branch of this organization of the United Front, right?
Yeah.
Big problem here. Now, again, making someone an honorary person doesn't mean that she necessarily agreed with it.
But did you see that in the certificate it says for all of your friendship and support? So she supports them.
That's, again,
yeah.
I would need some sort of evidence that she did do that.
Right.
Because you could write that all you want, right? But then it got a little bit weirder.
Okay.
Because the more you look into this, by the way, I just wanted to show you the cited sources here.
Okay.
Right? So in the United States, multiple local councils exist, and a national level council is registered as a nonprofit called the National Association for China's Peaceful Unification. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The National Association for China's Peaceful Unification, remember, that is to take back Taiwan by any means, by the way.
Yeah.
It says peaceful in the title, but literally the Chinese government says it doesn't matter what they do, they'll get Taiwan back.
Yeah, exactly.
A sentiment that would shock Taiwanese people to the core, especially Taiwanese people living in America, by the way, to see somebody accepting something like that.
That's also registered under the FARA, Foreign Agents Registration Act.
So the Foreign Agents Registration Act is an act that if you're a foreign government, America has freedom of speech. You can literally do or say whatever you want. The CCP can go here and operate propaganda news outlets in America.
As long as they're registered as such.
Yes, but they have to register as such so that you can go on this document called FARA and say, oh, yep, see CGTN, which is registered.
Yeah.
CGTN America, Chinese propaganda, the Chinese media, is registered under the FARA Act, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like, what do you call those, like, sex crime people? What do you call that? That you also get on a list? What's a sex offenders list?
Yeah, sex offenders.
What? It is. You know what I mean?
It doesn't necessarily mean it's nefarious. It's just that you know what it is.
But it's like, you know what it is. Like if your neighbor is on like the sex offenders list, you're like, okay, probably don't let kids around him, right? You're on the FARA list, probably don't take their propaganda seriously.
But FARA is not only the CCP, it's any
but that's what I'm saying. It could be Russia.
Be a democratic government.
Yeah, but
too.
still, you're getting this information from them and you're like,
yes,
that's some very interesting, compelling thought. Let's see. Oh, they are registered as a foreign agent. Maybe
and then
I
you
should
find out what country is sponsoring that.
Maybe like, this thing that I'm reading from Iran or whatever is probably going to be biased against America.
Sure.
So it's like a sex offenders list, but for governments.
Yes, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. But if it says the Chinese government is running this organization, then you could probably assume it has deep propaganda purposes.
Sure.
Anyway, it says...
in 2019?
In 2019, the U.S. Congressional Representative Jüri, and that's the woman in question,
Yeah.
was named an honorary chairwoman of a branch council called the Forums for Peaceful Reunification of China, an organization opposed to Taiwanese independence, which... For me, I think it's one of those things where if I was in that position and I found out later what that was.
Yeah.
Again, this is the benefit of the doubt.
Sure.
If I found out what that was and then an interview came up where people are allegating certain things, I would put it to bed real quick and say, hey, this was given to me and I have absolutely nothing to do with this. I support the the beliefs of everyone in America, right? This is a free country where anyone can believe what they want. To me, if I was going to accept this and then not talk about it, it would shock the hell out of me if I was a Taiwanese person living in the U.S.
Sure.
Or a Chinese dissident or someone that doesn't support the Chinese government to see a politician looking like they're accepting some sort of award or something like this from an organization of a government that's trying to destroy that country.
I mean, look, I don't like that idea. I'm pretty sure China doesn't like the idea of their officials accepting honorary chairmanships from the CIA or whatever.
That would be,
or from MK
I mean,
Ultra
the United
or
Front would
something.
be kind of similar, I guess, to the CIA.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
So
I mean, it's the same thing. It's an organization that's out there to influence the rest of the world.
Yes.
And their politics and stuff.
So it says, and this got weird, right? In 2012, a Chinese spy named Christine Fang, you guys probably remember this story. She was basically a spy an alleged spy that was sent over.
No, she was a spy.
Yeah, but it was alleged because she never got to stand trial.
Yeah, she ran. She escaped. She's the one that was sleeping with all those mayors and stuff.
Yes, correct.
And getting all the intelligence. You know the one.
Yeah, so she was CCP's spy, alleged because she never stood trial. I say alleged only because it's semantics, right?
Yeah, I don't have to follow the word of the law. I'll just call her a spy.
I can call her whatever. I could call her a purple
spy.
elephant. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter. I'm just saying I'm trying to be professional here.
Yeah, be professional. I'll be unprofessional on this one.
Okay, cool.
She's a
We'll
spy.
balance it out, right?
Spy.
Anyway, so she got caught sleeping around with a bunch of trying to influence politics.
She did influence. She got access to very privileged information.
Correct, but what effect that has now, we don't know because she didn't stand trial. We can't figure it out yet. Right?
Sure.
In 2022, U.S. National Counterintelligence and Security Center issued a warning noticing that state and local leaders, citing the NACPU, the Chinese People's Association for Friendship with Foreign Countries, and the United Front Work Department. Now go to the next slide. Let's have a look at this.
Well, I mean, just again, so she hung out with the Chinese spy alleged.
I'm going to show that.
Okay, you are. Okay. All right.
Jumping my gun.
All right. No, I'm totally not doing that. 100% not doing that.
By the way, this is the website for the China Council for Promotion of Peaceful National Unification, just in case you had any speculation about it being a CCP website.
She's the honorary chairwoman of this organization?
No, the branch organization of this, which is affiliated with this. It's under FARA.
Yeah. I love. They always have to have the white doves, man.
Gotta have the white doves. That's how you promote peaceful reunification with guns and missiles pointed at Taiwan currently and encouraging
and firing missiles into the sea,
missiles into the sea, and flying jets over their thing and cutting off their internet to Matsu Islands.
Yes, exactly.
Anyway,
that's what you do.
Just in case.
Okay.
Just in case.
Okay, so we got that there.
So yeah, this was Christine Fang. She was.
That's the spy that we were talking about. Alleged spy.
She was affiliated with people across the board.
Yeah, right? This alleged water is allegedly wet.
That alleged spy. I mean, she's a freaking spy. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to be a good guy here.
You could be a good guy.
What if she was just she's a reform spy and she goes to church? Just joking.
She wouldn't have ran away.
No, she wouldn't have ran away. Yeah. She'd stand trial in the face of the law.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Christine Fang was, she was donating to some of these campaigns, right?
There she is with the representative Chu over there.
And she did donate to her campain.
Yeah,
right?
she did donate. Yeah.
So this was coming under fire, right? Because this is but I mean, a lot of people got involved with this, right? You don't know that person's a spy at the time,
yeah.
Right?
So I mean, I want to couch something here because remember Representative Chu. Immediately when people start to ask her about this, she claims racism and anti-Asian hate and stuff, right?
Yeah.
But if you ask I think that fat dude up there was sleeping with Fang Fang. I think so. I could be wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't think so, dude.
I know for sure there was a guy that looked like him.
Yeah, sure.
Was involved.
Maybe.
And so is that other guy up there. If you start to ask him about this, he's not going to go anti-Asian, racism, anti-Asian hate, because what you're doing is you're like, hey, listen, you're kind of got dealings with a Chinese spy.
Right. Guys, chill out.
What are they doing?
She didn't sleep with Chu. All right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she didn't. Yeah.
Anyway, comedy aside, getting back to the serious nitty gritty about this, I wanted to point something out, very important, because you're gonna get a ton of people see the Democrats, see the Republicans. Everyone does this. Our audience is very split down the middle. There's a lot of right wingers, a lot of left wingers, a lot of people in the middle, right? I'd like to hope people can meet somewhere in the middle and have a beer together.
Well, I mean, here's at the end of the day, whether you're right wing or left wing or anything in between, it doesn't change the way I think about you. I respect people for having their own opinions and their own views on life, and I don't let that get in the way of actually having a dialogue with people.
So,
yeah.
What's it called? Fang, she helped support, remember this Tulsi Gabbard woman that was in Hawaii, right? She was sponsoring people across the board, right? Trying to get...
So she helped with the fundraiser for Tulsi Gabbard in
by
2013.
The way, this I just threw in there for a reason.
Okay, why?
Go to the next slide.
Okay.
This is a Chinese spy that helped fund this, right?
Yeah.
What did
she went to the Rage Against the War Machine thing.
We covered this in the last episode. There was this outlandish frickin' what looked to be a Russia-China protest sponsored by the People's Party,
which is the Communist Party.
Yeah, communist type party, mixed with the Libertarian Party, came together and had tankies from this like CCP sympathizers and Russia sympathizers speak. And so she was speaking here, just kind of added all up.
It's kind of interesting, you know. She got a Chinese spy doing fundraisers for her, and then she ends up doing this thing, which is
it's interesting. I honestly think you could,
you could dig deep and you could figure it out.
There she was. I love the back right behind her. You have the Xi Jinping and Putin on the billboard there, which is just fantastic.
Exactly.
This is what you're speaking at. Anyway, that was a whole thing. But the most important thing,
is
here, not that.
Oh,
that's
what?
very important though.
Okay.
The most important thing is that I would hope after all this, because this has become a massive thing. So people sent me the MSNBC interview.
Sure.
I tacitly agreed with her points. Looked around myself, threw out a lot of these allegations because it's bullshit partisan stuff.
Yeah.
And then started seeing through that and saying, not necessarily compromise, but I think this person as a politician, it would serve in her best interest and anyone's best interest, really, to be more transparent about the things that you have accepted, right? Or have.
Yeah, you need to put this to bed. If you're the honorary chair, first of all, you're hanging out with Chinese spies. Okay, that's whatever. Maybe you didn't know.
I mean, that no one knew.
Most people didn't know. Most people were like, okay, she's probably a spy, but so what? Because they're having a thing. This. Okay, is not something you ignore. Okay, this is
if you didn't know what it was.
Yeah,
right.
This is connected directly to the United Front.
Yeah.
Okay, we've shown you the proof. It's cited. It's on. You can find the information out there. But this particular organization accepting her as an honorary, chairwoman or whatever, because of her outstanding friendship and support. So in that certificate itself, it shows that she supports them and is very friendly towards them, at the very least.
Don't give a shit where you're from, what your ethnic background is, anything. I don't care. What I do care about is the thousands and thousands and thousands of Chinese people that take refuge here in the U.S., that live on not only under asylum visas, but people that are escaping the persecution of the Communist Party of China, the Taiwanese people that are here living in a free country like their own, right? Expecting protection against the United Front. So that is what I do not like to see. And I hope something comes out of it where they say, I had absolutely no idea what this was. I don't support this. And I support everyone's right to believe in what they want to believe. Because this is a very nefarious organization that is quite literally the United Front.
Yep.
The end.
And this is not something you want in your local politics.
No.
You don't want the influence of the Chinese government in your local politics.
No.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just the way it is, man.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Anyway.
All is said and done. What's this last thing that you wanted to bring up over here?
Because some of you failed us and didn't open the link in the description. We made a video on ADVChina about coal, and I promise you'll care about it if you watch it.
Yeah.
Watch it. Can you open it, please?
If you've watched it, please just watch it again.
Watch it again. Or, by the way, no, I checked the analytics. Almost no one opened it.
No one?
Almost.
Okay.
Open it up.
Those of you who did, thank you so much.
We did a huge expose on China's coal consumption and how it's ridiculous that any world leader is looking up to China for... It's not just about hypocrisy, by the way. It's about, with facts and statistics. And you can give to anyone. If anyone's like, hey, what's China doing with that environment stuff? Send them this.
Yeah.
It is the, first and foremost video you can send to people if you want stats on China's environmental damage and what they're lying about.
You know what I've been seeing cropping up a lot on all social media is this thing about this solar farm that's 80 kilometers long or whatever in the mountains. Have you seen that pop up?
Yeah, we should put that in.
That has become one of the biggest things out there. Obviously, a lot of SEO and money is going into spreading that out there.
I've just put the coal video in the chat, and I'm going to pin it.
Okay, please pin it. Please, guys.
Yeah, a lot of SEOs go into that solar shit.
That solar thing because, hey, it just so happens that at the exact same time that they approve the biggest expansion of coal-burning power plants, that they suddenly are hyping up this solar farm.
It's insane.
Yeah, it's just a cover-up.
Whoever is simping for the Chinese government's like green tech initiative, I don't even care. Even if you don't even believe in the environment, you think the environment is like an illusion. You don't even need to care about the environment to care about this because it's about tax money going there.
Yeah.
It's about initiatives going there. It's about leadership changing to the Communist Party's hands. You saw those pollution maps.
Yeah, you saw that. That was from today.
Dude, like, that's not the global leader, bro.
No.
Everyone's making all these sacrifices, and rightfully so, to make the world a better place.
Yeah,
And
not
China's
China.
not doing that.
They're doing the worst.
Yes, they're expanded it.
Yeah, they really are. A lot of people will come in with that per capita argument. Oh, but per capita because there's so many people in China.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that, though.
Yeah.
It's the factories that are making that pollution. It's the industry that's making that pollution. It's the rich people in the cities. You know, the people that live in the rural parts of China, they emit no pollution other than farts, okay? Because you don't even get electricity out there.
No.
They're not doing a bad thing. It's the industry and it's the government, you know, companies and stuff that are doing it. It's ridiculous.
True. Thank you to Linda Sawitsky, who watched it twice.
Oh, really appreciate that.
It is great. It's an amazing video. You'll love it.
Yeah, please.
YouTube hates it, by the way.
That's why we need your help to boost it.
Yes.
Anyway, it's pinned, so please open it up and give it a watch.
Yeah.
Let's bring it up. Let's try to make it hit 100K. It's at 40
Next week,
something.
this is everyone's homework.
Yeah.
Please watch that video. It costs you nothing.
Sure.
Watch the video, and then next week we'll look at the analytics. We'll see if we've hit 100K.
Yeah,
Because we need to hit 100K.
Yeah, we'd love that. So it's Yamcha time.
Yes.
Those of you who don't know what Yamcha is, it's our Q&A where we answer your questions and you question our answers. How it works is it stays up live now. It stays up over the weekend, and on Monday we cut it out. So you got the whole weekend to watch it. If you don't catch it on the weekend, you can always watch it over on Patreon. Yeah. Because that's one thing, any tier of Patreon, you will get access to that. We always upload it every Monday, the full thing with the whole Q&A. So if you haven't had time to watch and you want to watch the Q&A, it's always there. And the entire backlog is there too.
Yeah.
So let's get right to it. Time to loosen the tie. I've already hit the thing. So, yeah. Go ahead. Let's get started.